Hi, I'm Julia and this is my shed. So I'm having some problems mating the motor up with the loco. So my initial thought was to perhaps make the mounting studs a bit wider. Obviously I'd need to cut that off. But I think that's probably over the top. I think what I'm actually going to do is just try and reduce the mesh of the gears slightly by putting a washer underneath the just get the normal pillar underneath the pillar on the bottom or top, it doesn't really matter, just to reduce the mesh a bit so that hopefully the gears will fit a bit nicer. The other thing I'm still not sure about is the porting, because the motor seems to have lost a bit of power now. So as I've moved the ports further apart, that does mean there's more of a space between them, which means I can increase the hole size in the cylinder. So I'm going to get my jig out again and have another look at that. So sorry about the noise in the background, that's my trusty diesel heater making this all a bit more comfortable for me. So okay, we'll strip down the motor and then we'll have another look at the ports. Okay, so quick investigation of the ports. The new inlet port is something like 2.4. It's actually quite a loose fit. The port on the cylinder is 2.3, and interestingly, the exhaust port is also 2.3. So, and the gap between the ports is now 4 mil, which is quite a lot. So that's not going to help performance. So what I think I will do is I will drill the exhaust port to match the inlet port. So go up one drill size. I'll double check the gap between the two ports, and if we've got plenty of room for 2.4 mil, I will open up the hole in the cylinder as well to be 2.4, and then hopefully that will give us a bit more power. I probably don't want to go much bigger than that, because there's quite a lot of movement in the pivot. I'm not sure if you can see that, but there's a little bit of slack there, so that will affect the timing. So I don't want to go too mad, but I think we can go a bit better. So before we struggle to get the loco back in the chassis, I think we'll have another look at the porting. To help me with motor mounting, I've also taken the bodywork off, just so I don't damage it. So we're all going a bit backwards at the moment. So I've lined up with the old exhaust port. I think that's fairly centre. I mean, these are quite small drills, so they should self-centre anyway. So what we'll do is we'll drill that up to the larger size, and then I'll get the cylinder drilled out as well. Okay, so now we've got the cylinder port pretty much lined up. Looks like we'll just about fit. We'll have a little fiddle, but just there we go. And so we'll drill this one out with the larger port size as well. So I've got about 3.9 mil between the two ports, So so if we take off 2.4, so that's 1.5 mil sort of overlap, so that's hopefully 7.5 mil either side. We have got a bit of slack in this pivot, but it's only about 0.5 of a mil, so I think we're safe there, and this should give us quite a bit more performance doing these two jobs, so fingers crossed. So that's the ports drilled out. I'm now going to reassemble the motor, just using a little bit of hydraulic oil just so it's got a bit of lubrication. And the other thing that I wanted to try while the motor was off was to put in a couple of washers just to raise the height of the motor very slightly so that the gears don't mesh quite as close together. So we'll give that a go. You probably won't see me because it's a bit speeded up, but we give that a go. Okay, so I think putting those washers in just to give a bit more slack on where the gears mesh, so they're a little bit looser. That seems to have done the trick, because I've got this just about to start the power stroke, and that just self-starts now. You don't need to fix the flywheel, so that's awesome. So I'm really pleased with that. So what I've also done is where the grub screw indicates pretty much where bottom dead center is, so we can, if you put that near the top, the motor always starts. So yeah, really pleased with that. That's excellent. Let's see if it'll run using the normal steam pipes. So that's the next thing to try. Well, I'm very pleased with that. Yeah, all it took was just a wavy washer under each of those pillars, just to ease the clearance on the gears where it attaches to the chassis. Yeah, so I think that's a success. Unfortunately, while messing about with the bodywork, I've broken the siphon, so I need to repair that. So that's going to be fun. Yeah, so I'll leave it there. I think you'll agree that's a success. The next step is to see if it will run like this on steam, self-starting, which is what we're really aiming for. But I'm a lot happier now, I must admit. Anyway, like, share, subscribe, leave me a comment. Run out of pressure there. Leave me a comment, and be interested to hear from you, and I hope you enjoyed it. I'll see you in the next one.